prior to coming to Full Sail University, the only public speaking experience I had was when I was younger, sixth grade, I think it was. I had a public speaking type of class, and I mean, my first speech I gave, it was bad. I bombed. I was sweating profusely. I was hyperventilating. I forgot everything I had to say. Overall, I really didn't enjoy it as much as I did this month, honestly. I've always felt comfortable with my communication skills on a personal level. While when we're talking about addressing a crowd of more than three people all staring at me, I've always kind of had a little problem with that, but thankfully not so much anymore. Naturally, I've always been a very emotional speaker. I always get very riled up whenever I'm talking about something, so that always very honestly just comes naturally to me. Um, Having the audience know that what I'm talking about is also very important to me. Just like an everyday conversation, I want who I'm talking to know that I'm not just making stuff on the fly, even though I'm kind of random. But as far as having the right information, the right logistics of anything, that's always kind of the I guess like the harder part of any of the speeches, or even just in everyday life. Just getting your facts together so you do appear knowledgeable, even if it's the first time you've touched the subject ever. Naturally, I'm very loud, so I never really kind of have a problem with making sure everybody in the room can hear me. It's kind of one of my things, right? But as far as eye contact, that's something that I find is very respectful when you pay attention to someone saying something to you, to make eye contact with them. I never had a problem with that. As far as movement, hand gestures, very expressive with my hands, how I talk to people. The movement is the funniest thing. I remember during the first speech I gave, I didn't remember how I ended up in certain places, but the other times I did feel a lot more comfortable moving around the room from one control where I was standing in. I was nervous every single time. My heart was racing out of my fingertips. Don't let the straight face fool you. I have a good poker face apparently, but yes, I was scared every time. The Gar Reynolds presentation really helped me refine my keynote skill. I always kind of like doing PowerPoints and stuff like that, but it really did help. It really helped me brush up how to clean it up and make it very, very precise and not so cluttered. That was something I struggled with early on in the class. I had a lot of words on some of the slides and stuff like that, but I started applying some of those concepts, and they really did pay off in the end. The egotistical side of me wants to believe that I commanded the room in a way where people had no choice but to look at me, even if they were forced, just because it was a classroom. But outside of that, yeah, I feel like the audience was pretty respectful, and I think we had a good group this month, so I never had a problem with feeling like no one was tuning me out. Yes, I did. Many, many times. I feel like with practicing and even with the flashcards, sometimes I would just look at the flashcards and I was like, oh my God, this looks so Greek to me. Who wrote this? But the way to recover, just honestly, I just pushed through, and I forced myself to just not sit down and not give up. Cultural diversity. I showed the class a picture of me dressed up as a pirate with my pirate flag and my pirate tattoo. You can't beat that. People know. It's official. It's true. Definitely the cultural diversity speech, simply because I made the keynote so much more longer than the speech itself. It was running out of words to say and time, and trying to scroll through the keynote in front of the class. That was oh man, that was rough. My biggest delivery challenge was honestly just delivering the speech in front of the class. I struggled for years with fear of public speaking, and it was always the hardest thing to do. Honestly, getting misinformation. It's so easy for us as students to just go to Wikipedia and get something that somebody decided to change at the last minute and make it false. Not knowing where to look for proper information and research is usually the bane of all students' existence, I think. The best part about watching other people do their speeches was just how everybody just got better over the course of the class. The first few times up, everybody's so nervous and the ice hasn't been broken yet, but once that barrier's breached, everybody did very well. Being that I have a tendency to rant, this was probably one of the toughest aspects overall to keep in check. Even practicing with a timer at home, you get in front of everybody and the adrenaline starts pumping. It's hard to keep check mentally of how much time you're taking, especially when the cards started flipping and you start mumbling. It's tough, but it definitely something that needed to be done. On a scale of 1 to 4, I'd give myself a borderline 11. On the strength of that, I came into this class expecting to just bomb every speech, and I didn't throw up in front of the class once, so I'm guessing that should count for something, right? Wholeheartedly, I will always have a genuine fear of public speaking, but after this month, I do have the tools to go into a situation where I have to address multiple people, and I can feel confident in myself enough to know that I will get through it positively and definitely not pass out in front of the crowd. So I'm grateful for all of that.